coming off that loss on Monday night. I mean, that was one they really could have had. Your reaction after that loss, what was the first thing your mind went to?
What did I say to you on Monday when I saw you in the office? I was like, Giants on the money line, and they had a chance at the end. I was like, man, they're going to do it. That. And then obviously they didn't get it done. But you know what? My immediate reaction is it's hard to play in Arrowhead. And, despite the early mistake will Daniel Jones do that interception 2 plays after they had picked off Pat Mahomes in the end zone, it created a sense of frustration. Here we go again. This is going to be a blowout. Honestly, I was pleased with how they responded to that adversity and kept this thing a game all the way down into the end. And if it's not for I don't even know if I want to call it a not really offsides penalty, but I hate how when the ball is snapped and the guy is like a quarter of a second before the snap, they still call that a neutral zone infraction because it's not. But it is what it is. That interception would have changed the game. It would have won the game, I think, for the New York Giants. Mm-hmm. So they were in it all the way to the end against a very tough Kansas City squad at home to play against. Now, Kansas City is what they are. They turn the ball over a ton. I think they're leading the league in turnover differential right now at negative 11. Pat Mahomes has 10 interceptions, so they are what they are. But I give the Giants some credit here for sticking in despite having some missteps early in this game. And their defense has finally started to play up to Patrick Graham's standard that we saw a year ago.
Yeah, I guess what is it going to look like here last 9 games, Tiki?
Yeah, well, it's all about identifying who's going to be here next year, right? That's what it comes down to. The other thing that you can't help but be frustrated by is every week somebody gets hurt. And it's not like, you got a little, tweak here in your ankle. You'll be back, next week. It's not going to be anything issue. It's, you got a quad that's going to keep you out for 2 weeks or a month. If you're Saquon Barkley in an ankle injury that looked innocuous and we still haven't seen him on the field in a while. Like those little things start to add up and you're playing with guys who were previously, scheduled to be on your practice squad. It gets hard to be successful. And so the losses shouldn't be surprising. I think going forward, Moose, to answer your question directly, you got to prove that you're valuable for these last 9 weeks of the season. And if you're not, you're going to be someplace else.
Tiki, I have a theory here that if, because, and this is not about the man, this is not personally, this is just about the coach and about the results for the offense. And they just haven't been there, whether it's injury, but first 3 games of the season, they weren't injured. And 2 out of 3 of those games, the offense was still a problem. Mm-hmm. The rankings tell the story in and of itself. They're just not a great offensive team. So say they do want to make a change with offensive coordinator at the end of the year. Hypothetical here. I know Jason Garrett's your guy, but hypothetical. If they felt like they had that next coach in a Freddie Kitchens on the staff, is it smart to get ahead of this a little? We know how difficult it can be for quarterbacks to get into new systems, new offensive coordinators. If you believe in Jones, is it smart to be a step ahead of that as opposed to a step behind?
Yeah, it is. And, Jason Garrett is a friend. I've known him for a long time. We were obviously teammates together back in the late 90s and 2000s with the New York team. And he was invaluable for Kerry Collins, as I'm sure everybody knows. But if that is a decision that is about to be made, then I think it should be made. Because let's create the history. Remember the history, even just with the New York Giants. Let's not forget back in 2006, there was a change made from Jim Huffnagel to Kevin Gilbride at the end of that 2005 season or 2006 season, which was my last year. Kevin Gilbride picked up some cohesion with Eli. They go into that next season. Now they struggled a little bit early in that year, but we all remember how the 2007 season ended.
Of course,
with Kevin Gilbride being a great offensive coordinator for them down the stretch, and Eli playing fantastic, beating the previously undefeated New England Patriots. So yeah, if there's a thought that that's going to happen, it should happen. Instead of letting it drag out the way that it seems like it's going to.
Mm-hmm. Tiki, with Mike White and the Jets, before we get your thoughts on Rodgers here and this story that's gone
bizarre.
Crazy. But White and the Jets, what do you expect for an encore performance tomorrow night from Mike White?
Well, here's what happened with Mike LaFleur. He stopped trying to be like hero offensive coordinator. It's all right, Mike. We know that teams are going to try to limit, pushing the ball downfield because that's all that we do. If you don't have it, throw it to your running back. Michael Carter had 13 targets. He had 9 receptions. Obviously ran for 70-something yards as well. But if it's not there, Like your short tight ends or your check down running backs are your best friends when things don't appear for you or don't appear clean for you downfield. And I have to give Mike White a lot of credit, and I'll by extension, throw some of this on Mike LaFleur as well for making him comfortable taking the little things. Right, the little things ultimately add up because they keep you regular until you're not in second and long and third and long, and you never know. You might chunk one of those down and you go 50, right? That's what Christian McCaffrey does. That's why he's so valuable to the Carolina Panthers. So I appreciated the differing mindset of this Jets offense, which allowed their defense to be strong and healthy and truly confound one of the top teams in the AFC last week.
Man, the whole city's got Mike White fever,
Really
just
do.
ready for this. We'll see what he can do against the Colts tomorrow. Okay, so this Aaron Rodgers story, which is breaking right now, it seems like he was trying to be pretty evasive when he was first asked the question if he was vaccinated back in training camp.
Yep.
And now he's not COVID. Now he's got COVID and he's going to be out for a while. So let's take the football side of this first. Even if Mike White had a good day and some other backup quarterbacks, now Jordan Love is going to step into this game. Yeah, the Chiefs' defense isn't excellent. It's a big spot to be in. How does this change the Packers season?
Oh, it changes a lot. I mean, just look at the line here. It went from 1 to 7.5.
Yikes.
Like that, right? That's a lot for sharps to move. Lines are. And so I think that, from a Jordan Love perspective first, and we'll get to Aaron Rodgers, he's being cast into a situation where this team now had expectations for a Super Bowl, right? They've been to the NFC Championship game twice in a row. Aaron Rodgers won the MVP last year, and it seemed like they were on that same trajectory, not necessarily with Rodgers with the numbers, but with the winning, right? And it wasn't just, hey, we got, we're going to throw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. It was, we got A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones in the backfield running for 4.5 yards a carry. We can literally do whatever we want. Even without Allen Lazard and Devontae Adams last week, they were just in control offensively against a really good Arizona Cardinals squad. So it started to feel like, man, no matter what goes wrong, we're good, man. If you're the Green Bay Packers, they're a top 10 defense as well. Now you throw Jordan Love into that scenario, and you're going to ask him, just don't screw it up. It's a lot of pressure that you're putting on a kid who all we heard last year was this kid swimming, right?
Ready.
He's swimming in. He has no idea what he's doing. And if he had to play, it would have been ugly last year. We'll see if he caught up. I'm not sure if he has.
Tiki, how about Rodgers and the lack of honesty?
Yeah, that's a little frustrating, because he's always been this, this mercurial type player. Like he has, and his personality is always standoffish. Like, I got the answer, right? Trust me. Don't listen to the tone of my voice, but just the content of what I'm saying. I got the answer. Yet here he is petitioning the NFL for alternate treatments and trying to, make him not a target, when clearly he was going to be. And it's his right to not get vaccinated, but if he's not going to be vaccinated, you can't be hanging out at John Wick at some Halloween party, which is what he did over the weekend. We all saw it, and he posted it on social media. And so it's almost like, yeah, you deserve this for acting this way. And you hate to say it like that because you obviously don't want to say that about anybody. Exactly. It was like he was irresponsible, forget to his team, which he also was, but to himself, right? You know that this is going around in this country, and especially as the fall weather starts to hit us and things start to change a little bit, it's something he's got to be more cognizant of.
The other thing that's come up is that I guess they weren't following, or he wasn't following COVID protocols within the team complex and within the building as well.
Yeah. By the way, Moose, that's the bigger thing. Let's not forget the defensive coordinator, Barry was out. Joe Barry was out last week. His wide receiver, Devontae Adams and Allen Lazard, they were out, not because they were in close contact. They had COVID.
Yeah.
And here he is walking around the facility with these guys without wearing masks, without the social distancing protocols that are in place for non-vaccinated players in the NFL. The last thing the league wants is to go through this again. And so if you're not vaccinated, it's your right, but you got to follow a whole different set, and it's a laundry list. I mean, it's a long list of things you're not allowed to do, and apparently he wasn't doing that, and it's come back to it's going to hurt this team.
Do you think there's going to be penalties for him?
Yeah, there has to be. I mean, why put all of these protocols and these principles in place just to have them in place, right? I'm not sure what it will be. Maybe he gets docked a game check. Not that it matters, but I think symbolically, yeah, there will be and there should be.
Well, Tiki, last one is why lie?
Maybe he just didn't want the attention. He doesn't. I mean, this is unfortunately, and you guys know this.
Doesn't want to be judged. All that.
No, not even
polarizing.
that. Not even that. We live in such a politically charged world right now.
Yep.
It becomes like, that must mean he's right leaning. He's a Republican. He doesn't want this, and he's a Trumper, right? Or even it's the other way. Oh, he's a Bidener, and he wants, he's left and he's progressive. Like it's become that, and it's literally just because you don't want to get a vaccine. And so I don't think he wanted that kind of distraction around him. I'm not saying he's either one of those, by the way. I'm just saying.
No, I get it.
That's what this conversation
there's so much
has
going
become.
on.
That's what it's become.
Right.
That's what we talk about when someone says, "I'm not vaccinated. I'm not getting vaccinated." Regardless of what their reasoning is.
You're not wrong.
That's what it becomes.
Tiki, always appreciate you. Thanks so much. We're flat out of time here. We will talk to you next Wednesday. Have a great show with BT today, okay?
Be good, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks,
All right.
Tiki.
Thank you, Tiki Barber.